powder. It's something I'm hugely passionate about, but actually had never come across it until about 5 or 6 years ago. And I'm going to share with you, I mean, we're all foodies in this group. We love our food, we love eating, and we love variety. But protein powder's found a really special place in my heart, and it's a versatile kitchen cupboard item, which I do use, not every day, but I do have it several times a week. And I want to share with you some of the recipes that I do with it, because it's not just about making a shake with it. And I want to share with you why I think it's why I'm so passionate about it, and why it's so important to have in your kitchen cupboard. So what I'm going to do, because time's of the essence, I'm actually going to do my first recipe. I'm going to do it straight away. And then I'm going to share with you, as I do the second one, whilst I'm cooking it, I'm going to share with you some of the reasons why I think protein from a protein powder source is really important for you. So the first thing that I'm going to do is, we've all made pancakes before, yeah? And it's really simple to make pancakes, just with flour and egg and milk. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to substitute the flour with protein powder. And by substituting the flour with protein powder, that also brings it into like the realms of being gluten-free and things like that, which is brilliant. And what I'm going to do is, first of all, show you something you can do with, I've got some chocolate pancake mix here. I'm going to make vanilla pancake mix in a minute for something else, but with my chocolate pancake mix, the first thing that I'm actually going to do with it is make some healthy chocolate melt in the middle pots. So what I've got here is, I've got a couple of little ramekins which I've just greased already. I've made up my protein mix. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. What we're going to do is, we're going to just pour these into, pour the mix into the pots, and then we're going to cook these in the oven in a water bath. So it only takes like literally, seconds to make this mix. It's literally protein powder, it's a couple of eggs, and 50 mils of milk of your choice. And I'm just going to grab the kettle, because if you use water that has been pre-boiled, it just saves the time on the actual cooking time. So I'm filling up my water bath to about halfway. The oven's been preheated to 180 degrees. And that pan that they're in is just like a mini roasting dish, so it will get hot with the hot water, so make sure you use mittens. We'll pop that in there for 10 minutes. So using a simple pancake recipe where I've substituted flour for protein powder, we're going to be able to make our chocolate melt in the middle pots, which are really, really healthy, guilt-free options, which I absolutely love. Now let me show you how you can make that pancake mix. I'm going to use a vanilla shake, protein powder. So every protein powder that you can get them in a variety of health food shops. You can get them on Amazon, you can get them from people like me. Loads of companies do their own. If you just take a really simple plain one or vanilla one, you can make absolutely beautiful pancakes. If you use a chocolate one, you can make lovely chocolate melt in the middle pots. So I'm literally just using a scoop of powder, if it comes out. So 1 scoop of powder. Just crack a couple of eggs into your pot. Okay. And then your choice of milk. Now in our house, my husband has recently had an intolerance test, so he can't have cow's milk or goat's milk, although he's fine with sheep's milk. So we use a lot of soya now. Okay, so I really like soya as well, because it's got the same protein content as cow's milk. So actually, again, we're going to keep our protein levels high. So I'm going to use 50 mils of this. Now, because milk and water have got a very similar density, it's actually 50 grams, it's the equivalent of 50 grams. So that's why I'm weighing it, just makes it a bit easier. I'm going to mix that in a moment, but I'm going to do two pancakes at the same time, just for speed. So I'll pop these on to warm up. Okay, and I like to use coconut oil as a healthy option for any kind of frying like this. So just a little knob of coconut oil, and that will start to melt in my pans. Then I can mix up my pancake mix, which, you know, this is just a simple protein alternative. we've got a really nice, fluffy, bubbly pancake mix there. My coconut oil's nearly melted. I just like to make sure that it's covering the bottom of the pan, so I just shush it around a little bit. And then what we're looking for is just to make pancakes the way that we normally make pancakes. So just ladle some into your pan. In fact, let me just... So depending, you can add more milk if you prefer a bit of a thinner pancake. You can add up to about 85 grams of milk if you prefer, and you can make a couple of pancakes like this. Now, whilst I let that side cook, I'm going to talk to you about why I absolutely love adding protein into my diet in a way like this. Now, I'm really mindful about what I eat, but I hate dieting and I hate going without. What I'm really conscious of, though, is I want a really good blend of carbs, fats and proteins, you know, all the macronutrients that we need. There's no such thing as bad carbs and bad fats. It's just about finding the best ones for your body. And there's no right or wrong thing about the proportion of those things either in your diet. It's about listening to your body and what you need. So some people work really well with the keto diet, low carb diet. Other people need far higher levels of carbohydrates to fuel them correctly. You also need a really good blend of micronutrients, vitamins and minerals. So my general top tips for eating healthy is to eat colourful food, upgrade where possible, to avoid processed food. So if you can upgrade, considering availability and affordability, avoiding processed food as well, because we are what we eat and what we absorb, then that's ideal. And the most important thing is to be really mindful of trans fats, which is stuff that coats your chips and other baked freezer goods that you bake. So those are the only things that I really look to properly avoid in my diet. And I don't avoid them, I do have them, you know, who doesn't love steak and chips, hey? But I just don't have them all the time. And stay hydrated. Now, your protein content in your diet, it's an essential macronutrient that's going to build up muscle, it's going to repair tissue, make enzymes, make hormones. So you need it for making muscles, your brain cells, nerves, skin, hair, you need it. And getting the right amount of protein in your diet is essential. Now, most of us actually probably are eating enough protein, but what may be wrong about our diet is that we're not necessarily balancing it out and spreading it out through the day. Because your body can actually only process small amounts of protein at a time. It can't actually process a lot all in one go. And the typical UK and US diets, for example, have a lot of protein at the end of the day and only about 10% of your protein actually at the start of the day. So if you can actually switch your day around a little bit and have a bit more protein in the morning, you're setting yourself up for a really, really great day. So I'm just literally flipping that. It's quite a thick pancake, this one. Like I said, if you want thinner ones, you can actually make them with more milk. So now, if you are putting more protein in your diet earlier in the day, you'll probably have less pangs of cravings for carbs and things like that. Now, carbs, we all need carbs in our diet, but if carbs break down into simple sugars, and it doesn't matter whether that has come from fruit or whether it's come from bready products or anything like that, simple sugars in your body can make your blood sugar levels go a bit haywire. So that's why you can end up with mood swings, feeling tired and low and irritable and things like that. So that's why I would advise putting more protein in your diet earlier in the day. Typically, how much protein you need is about the amount of protein that you need is it's ironic, if you're going to work in pounds, take your weight in pounds and divide it by 2, and that's how many grams of protein you need a day. So for me, I actually need about 90 grams. Some people may need much less, some people may need much more. And if we split our protein over the day, then for me, I need about 30 grams of protein, ideally in breakfast, lunch and dinner. 30 grams of protein in the form of meat, for example. That's one pancake done. 30 grams of protein in the form of meat or fish, for example, that is about 4 ounces or 113 grams, which is about the size of an iPhone, if you want to look at it visually. But you can get that if you are looking at having Greek yogurt, for example. Apologies, I can hear my pancake still cooking. Let's take it out of the pan. You can get that from a Greek yogurt, for example, from cottage cheese. You know, a good portion of that will contain about 30 grams of protein as well. Eggs contain about 6 grams. So, you know, if you're looking at eggs, having it with smoked salmon or eggs with bacon, that's all great options for topping up, like, for example, your breakfast. But when you choose a really good quality protein mix, a protein powder like this, you know, a scoop of good quality protein powder can be anything, when it's mixed with milk, can be anything in the region of 25 to 30 grams. So I've made some pancakes here. What I'm going to do is I like to eat my pancakes and top them with fruit and yogurt and honey. And just for ease today, I've literally just taken a frozen mix packet. It's really nice if you heat it up as well in the microwave. So let's just pop that one on there. Yeah, and if you're doing a lot of exercise, then people who are exercising more will need more protein in their diet because they are needing to actually, you know, build that lean muscle and repair their tissues as well. So protein powder is commonly used as it can aid weight loss as well. So if you're using it as part of a calorie control program, you may have come across protein powder for weight loss. But another common thing is obviously when people are looking to build lean muscle, they do need protein in a good quality form. So I've got my I've got my fruit all nicely warmed up. Forgot to get the yogurt out of the fridge, so bear with me. I'm going to use soy yogurt today so I can give this to my husband when he comes in from his run, because he's literally just popped out. So he'll be well happy with me because he's going to have a nice lunch ready for him. We often use this as breakfast, but it equally is good for lunch. And it's really, really filling, but in a good way. It's light. It's not too sort of heavy and filling. So I just do a splodge of yogurt on top. And then I like to pour my frozen fruit, which is now warmed up, over the top, because actually I just find that really delicious. You can add some honey if you like. He likes it, so I'm just going to pop a little bit of honey on. Or you can use syrup or something like that. Obviously, if you're looking to avoid those sorts of sugary things, then don't. But what we've got here is a really nice, healthy. There's a bit of liquid from my freezer fruit, I'm afraid, but a really nice, healthy pancake breakfast or lunch. So that's my second thing. The buzzer has just gone, which is perfect timing for my melt in the middle chocolate pots. So let's grab these. Now I'm hoping the fact that the shelf was a little bit lower than usual isn't going to be a problem. Hubby cleaned the oven last night, especially for you guys. So, you know, that was a win. That was a result in my book. Right, so they are going to be super hot. So make sure that you're really careful with getting the ramekins out. And then what I do, because they were greased, it should be easy enough to just slide a knife around. I'm sure you can get like proper pots where you can just quick release. But I love food and I love cooking, but I've never been very fancy with it. So apologies for some of the presentation. I'm a foodie that loves food, not necessarily presenting it. Let's just check. Let's see if this is going to come out nicely. There we go. It's beautiful. Okay, so what we've got is a lovely chocolate dessert here. And as you can remember from the pancake mix, it is so simple to make. There's nothing bad in it at all. So, you know, this is a really good option. This makes your pancakes are going to be probably about 300 calories, maybe 350, depending on what you top it with. These work out, because the same mix makes two, they work out about 150 calories. But, you know, it's 150 guilt-free calories after your main meal at night or after your lunch. You can even make them as a mid-afternoon snack. Should have left this upside down because it's running a bit low. Apologies. And then just like a little drizzle of honey, and what you've got is a beautiful melt in the middle pot. Let's just check if it actually is going to melt in the middle. She says it's melt in the middle. Let's make sure it is. So hopefully Oh, I've cooked it a little bit long because the oven's been on a bit longer, but normally it's a bit melty in the middle there. So just get to know your oven, and then you can actually make sure that it's, you know, a nice sort of melty middle pot. Okay, so I probably should have put it on for a little bit less. Okay, so we've used pancake mix to do pancakes, we've used pancake mix to do desserts, and actually you can use pancake mix to do things like Yorkshire puddings as well, so you can have healthy Yorkies alongside your roast dinner. And especially if you are vegetarian and you're having like a nut roast or something like that, vegetarians and vegans can find it difficult to get all of their protein in their diet, and that's where the protein shakes can come in really useful. But instead of just using it to make a shake, you can actually make, for example, Yorkshire puddings or nice desserts, and that's a really good option. Now, there are loads of different types of protein powder out there. Some of them are dairy based, like whey. Some of them are egg based. Some of them are plant based. I use soy based, and I find soy really easy to digest. But basically what you're looking out for is you're looking for one that has a great set of multivitamins added to it as well, because then you are sort of ticking several boxes in one go. So a lot of them will contain up to, say, 50% of your recommended daily allowance of the vitamins that you need. And you'll also find that there are some which come with the enzyme needed to break down the proteins. So for example, the one that I use has the enzyme needed to break down your amino acids or protein building blocks even further. What that means for you is that it's really easy to digest. When your body works hard to digest something, it gets really tired and really sluggish. So if you've ever had that afternoon slump, then that can be a reason that you'll find your body's finding it hard to digest that. So take note of what you're eating on the days when you feel like that, and maybe just mix your diet up a little bit. And obviously, if you want to find something that is actually there's some great sources of protein. Obviously there's meat and fish, but there's also eggs, and there's also nuts and pulses and beans. So you can just take what I'm saying about protein and ignore the powder, and just actually try and mix up your diet a little bit more to get protein in regularly throughout the day. So obviously, right, I'm just looking and seeing where I am in my notes. I've done that. Right, okay, so I'm going to make a healthy ice cream, okay, which is brilliant. Have a completely guilt-free ice cream. I'm going to be using my Thermomix. Now, this is super quick to make, but takes some advanced preparation. So you need to have fibrous fruit. So I've got bananas, for example, and I've sliced them, pre-sliced them, and I've popped them in the freezer so that they are already frozen. Let me just get them for you. Okay, so I've chopped up, this was just a couple of bananas here. You can do as many as you like and play around with it to get a different consistency. What we do is we just add the frozen bananas into the Thermomix. And this is actually a recipe, I'll just say, some people like, this is Joe Wicks. He uses a lot of protein powder in his recipes. So you can get some really great ideas from some cookery books as well. So I'm just going to be doing half of his quantities. So I'm going to do half a scoop, I've got 2 bananas, half a scoop of the shake. I'm using vanilla, but you can use chocolate if you prefer a chocolate ice cream. And then I'm going to weigh in, I really like almond milk as well, so I'm going to get a bit of almond milk and almond butter in here so you get a bit of crunch with your ice cream. And then it's just, it's a tablespoon of almond butter, so I'm just going to go for a heaped teaspoon, and that'll probably be about right. It's all sort of, what you fancy really. And you can play around with this. So this works quite well with mango as well, for example, frozen mango, which is great because you can get that in bags in the supermarket dead easy. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to blast this up. You just need a really good quality food processor. So anything like a NutriBullet or something like that, or if you've got a Thermomix, obviously that's great. So cover your ears because it might be a bit loud. Okay, so that was about 10 seconds on speed 10. And this is making a really, really thick ice cream there. So let's try and scoop some of this out. Okay, and this will normally serve, we normally make that portion to serve 2. You can make more, and you can actually just freeze quite well as well. So what you've got there is a really nice healthy ice cream. Like I said, there's nothing bad in that. It's protein powder, milk of any milk substitute, banana, or you can choose a different fruit. I've got almond butter as well, and I like that for crunch. And then you can do whatever you like with it. So I have to admit, I totally forgot to do this. I was going to chop up a little, grate up a little bit of dark chocolate and sprinkle it on top to make it look pretty. Like I said, I'm not actually a very pretty presentation cook. I just like to eat, quite frankly. So that's my 3rd recipe. Now, the other ones that I was going to make for you, I realised it was going to take too long to make for you around the timescales that I had, so I'm just going to talk about them. If you are looking for healthy snack options, these are nice little protein bites that you can make. So I made these yesterday with protein powder. They've got chia seed, but you can use flaxseed. It's got some peanut butter. You could use almond butter. And it's got some coconut oil, and it's got some honey. And each one of these works out about, it's actually between 100 and 150 calories by the time you work out the mix and get a nice little protein ball like that. So that's a really nice healthy option. It is quite heavy, but I love it when I've done some exercise because I just need some energy straight away after that exercise that I've done. So there's the protein power balls. And then another great option to do with your protein powder is to actually make a swap into your cakes. So you can actually, I made this yesterday, so this is a banana loaf. I'm just going to slice it for you. So think about any normal, any kind of normal cake that you would make. You can almost certainly make a swap and swap out the flour or a proportion of the flour, and that will allow you to make a really nice, so this is a banana loaf, you know, just as you would normally make banana loaf, but instead of the flour, what I've done is I've actually used a mix here. I've used a 50-50 mix of protein, chocolate protein as well, so it's chocolate banana loaf. Oh, so that's really, really nice. I had this after my run yesterday and it felt absolutely amazing. And again, it's really light and it doesn't actually even feel naughty. This freezes really well as well, so you can make a loaf and then just freeze the individual slices for use later. Then, of course, you know, what you probably all thought that you can do with your protein. So I think I've given you 5, but I'm just going to go with this will be my lunch. You can actually obviously just make a shake with it. And it's so simple to literally just pour some milk into a shaker. One chocolate one today. You can add, if I hadn't used my Thermomix bowl, I would have added some fruit and made, you can add so many different things. You know, with a good food processor, you can add carrot, or you can add apple, you can add, you know, soft fruits. You can, one of my favorites is banana and almond butter. You can probably tell I'm a big almond butter, banana-y kind of person. But literally just mix that up. And if you've used soy milk or skimmed milk, you're making a 200-calorie drink there, which is a great quick meal. It won't be my only lunch, it's just going to be my first lunch, and then I'll sort of top up with something else. But it's a great snack option, and you know, it's dead easy and great if you're on the go as well. So those are my different ways of using protein powder. I hope you found it interesting, and if you've got any questions, obviously fire away.
That was amazing. Thank you so much, Debbie. Really, really enjoyed that. It's
You're welcome.
I've learned loads. Sort of like, it was really good. And I was thinking, you've even made stuff for vegans there, so thank you very much.
Yay!
Not that I can have it because I'm allergic to half the ingredients that you said, but that's fine. You didn't know that I can't have almonds. So where you go, oh, I really love almonds. I'm like, yeah, she's going to kill me. But that's great. Obviously, no, don't kill me, but it's great. That you have it.
Can you have peanuts instead?
I can have peanuts and I can have cashews.
Just
I
swap all of those things around.
Yeah, I swap almonds for cashews. Cashew butter is amazing.
I'm going to try that. I
Oh
love
my gosh,
cashews. They're
seriously,
my favourite.
isn't it? I can see Christina nodding. Do it in the surname. It's stunning. It's really, really easy. So, so yeah, no, it's really good. Thank you very, very much.
Cool.
Anybody
You
got
are
any
welcome.
questions? Or do you want to? Are you going to leave it for your husband to clear up, or do you want to go back into your other room? So
I'm going to go. Well, do you know what? I'm actually in the same room. He'll just nip past me. I'm going to come to my. Yeah, let me go to my computer, and then he'll
come
nip
to your
past
computer, and then we
Lisa.
can open it
Yeah.
up for any questions for you. So, does anyone have any questions? Quick, ask them now while she's not there. No. Christina, we'll go with you because you've. You're there first. Oh, we've got you twice. We've got you. No, go on then. Let's go for it. Right, Christina's got a question for you, Debbie.
I think that's amazing, Debbie. That was a fantastic demo. Thank you. Do you have the protein every day?
You can have it every day. I know people who have, 2 or 3 scoops of it every day, because then they know they're getting good quality protein, and then they sort of can just enjoy whatever food they fancy having. But, I won't have it every day. I'll probably have it maybe 3 or 4 times a week.
Do you know, I wish we had this last year, because my husband bought a humongous thing of protein. He has his phases, and I didn't know what to do with it, so we threw most of it out.
I get bored of shakes. That's why I've found other ways.
Yeah, we did shakes and nothing else. Yeah. Thank you.
I like to eat my food, you see. I like a shake when I'm in
I like food.
Go, but I love sitting and eating food, and that's why I like to make other things with it. So
yeah.
No, absolutely fantastic. My son's I'm doing veganuary. My son's a vegetarian, and my husband and daughter are meat eaters. But yeah, the protein powder that he gets, there's one that he's just got, which is salted caramel flavour.
Wow.
So yeah, if you look out there, there are loads out there. Sheena, do you have a question?
I'm actually just picking out the fact that Kitty had a question from earlier in the chat. Debbie, Kitty's question was, have you got it, Kitty?
How much protein is in a scoop?
So it does depend. It varies from company to company which brand you have. In our ones, a scoop is like 13 grams. And if you mix it with skimmed milk or with soy milk, then you're getting 24 grams of protein. And that's just R1. Whereas there are others out there. You have to be a little bit careful, because there are people out there who are, selling protein powders where there's like 50 grams of protein per scoop. Most people don't need that. So when you go for one which is less, what you can do is you can add more in. So if somebody wanted to use that particular protein powder, for example, they can literally do double the scoops if they needed more, for example. So yeah, just be careful at how much. You don't want probably to have anything which, when you combine it with milk, is going to be more than 30 grams, because for most people, I'm fairly average. I'm a bit taller, so most women are probably going to want 80 to 90 grams, maybe men more like 100 grams of protein in a day. And so you just need to be a little bit careful not to overdo it, because obviously then you can put weight on. Although it's commonly come across in circles for people who are trying to lose weight, for me it's complete convenience, and when I want to lose weight it's great, but you don't want to overdo it either, because too much of anything, too much carbs, too much protein, too much fat, and you will put weight on. Does that help? I don't know, did I answer your question? Okay.
Debbie, what would you say is your favourite way of developing these ideas to use your protein powder, etc.? What drove you, if you like, to start thinking of different ways to put it all together? Because that was amazing.
Yeah, well, basically, so I've been on a bit of a health journey for about 7 years, since before I actually started with Forever Living. And so I've been upgrading things for quite a long time and looking at ways of getting better quality nutrition in general. When I discovered how simple it was to introduce protein powder into other recipes, that I just thought, wow, actually I know I'm getting a good quality, healthy amount of protein. I'm getting loads of vitamins and minerals. Why wouldn't I want to introduce it into baking, for example? So I just tried a few things, and I just thought, I wonder if I could like switch out some of this flour and make this a bit less heavy. And the pancakes, for example, I love them in the morning, because I love a decent, really good amount of food in the morning. But if I have a big bowl of porridge, it sits quite heavy personally for me, and actually I feel a little bit icky when I've had it. Whereas if I have a decent helping of pancakes or bacon and eggs and avocado. I'm not going to lie, that's one of my favourites. You know, I don't feel it's a load of food, it's loads of calories, like maybe even 500 calories, but it doesn't sit heavy. So I've learned for me that a really decent, healthy amount of proteins and fats early in the day works for me. It may not work for other people. Other people may be fueled brilliantly by carbs in the morning, but in general, if you get a balance of macronutrients in your everyday, every breakfast, lunch and dinner, then you are going to be onto a winner, basically. And I think the only thing to avoid is having like carbs with carbs. So I learned a long time ago with the nutrition courses that I went on through forever, I learned that, you know, if you're going to have toast, great, have toast, but have it with peanut butter, don't have it with jam, because carbs, you're getting more sugars. Carbs break down sugars, jam is sugar, and it's just like essentially more sugars in your diet all the time. Whereas if you're going to have a lot of one thing, mix it with something else. So have some protein with it, or have some fat with it, you know, have some avocado with your toast, something like that.
Fantastic. Do we have any more questions? I know there was one here, but I think you answered it throughout your foresight. Where do you get protein powder from?
So there's lots of companies within 4N where people are independent distributors for a company that sell protein powder. So I've got my own, which is with Forever Living. There's loads with Herbalife, with Arbonne and things like that, for example. So if you know someone that sells any of those products, they'd be able to help you. We literally only have vanilla and chocolate because we believe you can keep it simple and then build up the flavors. Other companies do like mint choc chip and strawberry and salted caramel and things like that. But if you go to any good health food shop as well, you'll be able to get them. You can find them online on Amazon and things like that. Lots of health food shops are online as well and doing deliveries. So basically my advice would be though to check the nutritional content, because not every protein provider has the same quality of products, basically, and make sure you're getting something that you feel comfortable with. Some people love soy, some people hate it, some people love whey, I know a lot of people that really don't get on with whey when they do get on with soy. So you know, it's just a bit of a suck it and see, try it and see how you get on with it.
No, absolutely. Like I said, I think I put in there that I'm on pea protein, so that's the one I'm using. But yeah, like you said, there's loads out there. Have we got any more questions? Or is that it? Oh, one last question then from me.
Yeah.
What is your favourite thing you make with the protein powder?
Pancakes, hands down. I love them. I could literally eat pancakes probably every day. I just love pancakes, and when I can eat them totally guilt-free without them feeling heavy and with them actually fueling my body the way I need them to fuel me, I just love it. So yeah, and I chuck almost anything on top of it. So sometimes we'll even have it with extra protein. We'll have it with bacon and blueberries and maple syrup. You know, if I can make pancakes every day, if I had the time to make pancakes every day, I'd do it. But it doesn't take that long. You know, it's just a little bit of organisation, and once you've done it a few times with that mix, then you'll know how it cooks and everything. So pancakes.
That was fantastic. Once more again for our Debbie. Thank you so much. Loved it. That was